Hey everyone, thank you for watching this video. In this video, I'm going to take a mock interview and I have my student, who is with me. Has been working on Azure for quite some time, and we just decide to have a quick mock interview on Azure. He's going to talk about his roles and responsibilities, and I'm going to just interview him. So we haven't prepared, to be honest. We just started, yeah, we just thought of, joining a call and taking this interview session. Hopefully we'll try to cover, as much as possible. This will be like, there will be multiple parts of this videos. Uh, we'll give some time for, him to learn, work on the feedback, then come back to us again. We'll have another part. Likewise, you'll keep on seeing multiple mock interviews in our channel. Okay. So we have Karthik with me. Hey, Karthik. Shall we get started?
Hey Kamal, yes.
All right. So I'll be your technical panel today, and you are going to be the candidate. So let me get started. Thanks, Karthik, for joining us today. So let me introduce the roles and responsibilities and the job role, what we are looking, the candidates, what we are looking. So we are looking for the Azure engineer or a cloud engineer who has experience into the cloud platform, be it AWS or Azure environment for at least 3 to 4 years, and who has been working on the cloud operations and having some good understanding about the automation tools like PowerShell and shell scripting. If you have some understanding about the DevOps tools like ARN templates and Terraform and Azure DevOps components will be an added advantage for us. So this role requires a 24/7 support because it is a cloud operations, and so I believe you are okay with it. Okay, so that's
Yep.
about the role and expectations. So I would like to first try and start, learning about your skills and experience. So you might have to start with your introduction, your roles and responsibilities, your overall experience into the IT, and the roles that you have, uh, you know, performed in your career. What are the tools you worked on Azure? Which services you handle? What kind of issues you get in day to day? Let's get started with that. Okay, go ahead, Karthik.
Thank you, Kamal. So I have overall 7+ years of experience working in IT. I have working as Azure engineer with Office 365 administration and also Windows Server administration, and also I do have experience on VMware. I have worked on like VMware vSphere and VMware vCenter versions. And also, I do have good hands-on experience on on-prem Active Directory, DNS, and DHCP. And I do have some good hands-on experience on Office 365, like creating mailboxes and setting up the OneDrive, that kind of things. And coming to the Azure, so I do have like around 5+ years of experience working as Azure engineer. So in my current role, I'm working as Azure engineer. So my day-to-day operations, like I create I create the virtual machine backup, and I closely work with the development team. So we used to get the requirement from the development team, and so basically I'm working on the infra side. So I used to set up all the Azure resources like creating virtual machine, creating the storage accounts, and also creating the SQL Server, and also I'm responsible for creating the backups and restoring the backups as needed, and also I'm responsible for creating the application monitoring, um, um, like application servers. I'm in the web application monitoring, and also including the server monitoring like CPU, memory, disk kind of utilization, and also I'm responsible for all the troubleshooting which we get like day to day on the Windows servers. and also I have worked on Active Directory, and so I work on like Active Directory cleanup part, like cleaning up the group policies, and cleaning up the user account kind of things. And in my previous role, I have worked as a VMware administrator, where I worked on a VMware migration project, like from
All right. I
Windows
think
5.5
that's
to
fair
6.
enough, Karthik. I think you had a very good experience. You had experience on on-premises. You started working on a as a like a Wintel administrator kind of role, where you managed to work on Windows Server and Linux environment, Active Directory, DNS, DHCP, which is really great stuff. I do see you worked on VMware, which is also a cool feature, right? So when it comes to the cloud, I see you have experience on Azure and Office 365, and majorly on Azure side, I understand you worked on infrastructure component. And yeah, I do understand you have some good experience in the troubleshooting and good collaboration skills as well, which seems to be very good. And and that gives me some good impression about your profile. Let me start asking a couple of questions to understand your technical skills of it. Okay.
Sure.
Well, as I said, the interview contains the learning your experience and understanding your technical skills and understand your the way you handle the situations, how you can come across come out of the critical situations, and how do you collaborate and how do you document the issues that you are experiencing, right? So going on to the technical part, right? So before we understand like how big your environment is, how many servers you manage in your experience.
So in my current organization, I'm managing like around 100 to 150 servers.
That's good actually. Just to want to let you know, in case if you're not sure about the answer, feel free to let me know that you are not sure, right? So it won't impact your impact the assessment. Okay.
Sure.
Um, so that's good. You have to. It's like a very small environment, right? Okay. So what kind of applications you have? Is it core infrastructure you are managing? Do you have any applications?
So we typically have all that .NET applications running on the Windows IA server, and we have a backend SQL. So we have applications running in IaaS and as well as PS platform as a service.
Okay.
So we typically have like a .NET applications IaaS, and we have a
I see.
backend
Okay,
SQL.
okay, that's fair enough. So, when it comes to the backup, right? So you mentioned you have experience on the backup as well. So what kind of backup solution are you using? Is it a Azure native backup solution, or you are using any different backup solution, like third-party solution?
Yeah, so I use the Azure native backup service called Azure Backup Service Vault, so where we used to take every day server full backup, and also we used to take the all the SQL Server backups.
So do you take full backup every day?
Yes, for the for the all the version missions, we have like a full backup, and coming to the SQL servers, we have a SQL backup enabled. So yeah.
So is it like you take every day, you log into the system and you take the backup manually, or how is it?
So we have some backup policies, so which will run every day, like morning 5 o'clock. So all the servers are part of that backup policy. So in the recovery service vault, so we have automatic backup, so which will run every day, and all the servers have full backup
Okay.
every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so is it like you configure the SQL Server backup as well?
Yes.
Is it like a server level backup or DB level backup? What kind of backup you have it?
We do have both server level backup as well as individual database backup,
What is
including
the
the
difference between the server level backup and DB level backup? Is it not the
server.
same?
Uh, it's not the same. Like the server level backup typically we use for like scenario where if we
Okay,
have some
so
issue
how
with the
many
hard
requests
drive.
you get on a daily basis for the backup?
For the backups, I mean, typically we back up all the servers every day. I mean, so whatever the servers running in our environment, including the prod, dev, and non-prod, so we typically take the backups of all the servers. So it's not like a request. So whenever we create a server, we usually, as per our company policy, we
So do you
typically
do
take
you
all
also
the server
perform
backups.
the restore operations?
Yes.
Okay, what scenarios you go for the restore?
Uh, Mostly in case of, for example, if our development team is testing something, if something goes wrong,
Okay, how many
maybe.
requests you get in a day or a weekly?
Honestly, we get only one or two requests in a month for the
Okay, what
restore.
kind of restore method you have, and like what kind of restore method you follow? When somebody say, okay, they need a restore, how do you
Yes,
suggest them?
so we have multiple options coming to the restore. We have like full restore backup, I mean full restore, and the other one is we can simply swap the disk. So when we create the full restore,
Okay,
it will
so what is the
go to
difference between the VM backup and the snapshot?
Uh, Typically, the both are same, but I mean, usually when we create a backup in the background, it will take the snapshot. But the snapshot is more like manual. For example, if you are trying to implement some change or something, if you want to test something, we usually take a snapshot before we test something, before we install something. So where we can take
Okay,
manual
that's
snap.
fine, Karthik. I think that's fine. Understood. And thanks for that. You mentioned about the performance troubleshooting, right? What kind of yeah, performance issues you have troubleshooted so far?
Coming to performance, like we have our SQL servers and Windows, I mean the application servers.
Okay,
So
give me one
usually,
example. Okay, so just give me one example. Probably you troubleshooted one application performance issue or one VM performance issue. Just give me one example. I'm not looking for anything like generic. I'm just looking for a specific use
uh,
case that you worked on it, or issue that you worked on it.
yeah, for example, we usually, if we have any like CPU or memory performance issues, so we log into the VM and see like which application is taking CPU and memory, like why it is taking, and I mean, so we analyze. I mean, so we see like why it is taking high CPU and memory, and based on that, if it
It's
required,
again
we
a
can
more
scale it down.
generic, Karthik. It's again a more generic statement. Okay, so tell me the issue that you faced or your users faced, and how that issue is notified, and how you got to know about the problem. And I'm just looking for the step by step, actions that you performed.
I mean, for example, when we have some RDP issues,
Just
for
take one example,
embedded
right?
performance.
Yeah, you're clubbing, RDP and performance, application, database. Just give me one example, help me understand. And if you're not sure and if you don't know, just do let me know. That's totally fine, right? I just mentioned in the initial discussion.
Yeah, I'm not sure at this moment. Like,
That's okay. That's okay. It save our time as well, right? That's totally fine. Okay. So let's talk about the virtual machine, right? You mentioned you work on virtual machine, right? So what kind of task you perform on the VM?
sorry, could you come again?
What kind of task you perform on a VM? You mentioned you worked on virtual machines, Azure virtual machines. What do you do with
Yes.
the virtual machine?
So virtual machines, like we usually create a virtual machines and So we take the backup of the virtual machines and we
Okay, let me
confirm and
stop you
restore
there,
operation.
right? Let me stop you there. You said you create the virtual machines. Are you creating manually, or do you already have any automation in place?
Not the automation. We typically create a Windows virtual machine, which is available in Azure Marketplace. So like Windows
So
10,
how
15, and
frequently you
16.
get a VM creation request?
Uh, Pretty much like once a week. So
Once a
based on
week? Okay,
yeah.
how many VMs you create? It's like once a week. Is it like one VM, two VMs?
We typically create one or two VMs for each environment. Let's say we usually start with the development, like whenever we have a new project start. So we usually create,
Mhm.
initially we
So
start
you're
with the
basically
development
going to set up
environment.
the build. You're going to set up the build for your projects, right? Okay, got it. Okay, so once you create a virtual machines, what kind of requests you get it on the VM? What kind of requests you handle in the virtual machines?
Uh, so, I mean, we have like different requirements from the development team to install certain applications,
Mhm.
including like antivirus and also we get requests from development team to allow certain ports on the firewall. So
Okay, you work on
yeah.
NSG requests, network security groups, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So what is a network security group, by the way?
Network security group is a firewall where we can control our inbound and outbound traffic to the virtual machine.
Okay, what is the difference between the network security group and application security group?
Application security group is, I think it's more like some sort of a service
Okay,
desk.
have you implemented in your environment by any chance?
I mean, I hear that application security group, but I never get a chance to implement a application security group. But I have worked on network security groups and
Okay,
creating the rules and allowing the inbound and outbound connectivity rules.
I see. Okay. All right. So how do you track these efforts? You said you work on VM creation, you work on NSG rules updates, and you help with the application installations like antivirus or maybe a monitoring solution, maybe some application specific tools you might be installing. So how do you track them? Like, do you use any ticketing tool or do you get a request over the email? How it is?
Yeah, we have our own ticketing system called ITSM. So it is called Provence ticketing system tool, which is a dynamic 365 ticketing tool.
Okay. So how many members are there in your team? How do you collaborate with them?
So we are a team of two people. So basically, we basically call. Our team name is called as like Cloud Team, where I work with the Office 365 guy, and I worked on Azure environment. So we both together called as a Cloud Team.
So you only have two members and managing 300 servers and Office 365 and all other products of Office 365.
Yes, so we are only two people on
So
Azure and Office 365. Yes.
what if there is a critical incident occurs? So how do you guys manage? So are you guys not working on a 24/7?
Sorry, could you repeat your question?
Are you not working on 24/7 support? Only two people. How you guys are managing like the whole environment?
I mean, so whenever we set up the environment, we make sure we follow the best practices and we create the environment as per the best practices. So typically
Okay,
we
that's good.
won't get, yeah, typically we
So
won't get any issues like, so yeah.
okay, fine. So when it comes to the monitoring, what kind of monitoring tools you managed?
So I use the application insight where we can monitor the application performance like
No,
update of
okay. I'm
application.
specifically talking about the infrastructure servers, right? And Azure. Do you use any tool to monitor your virtual machine, CPU, or memory
Yeah, we use our
utilization?
Yeah, we use our built-in Azure built-in monitoring called Azure monitoring solutions. So,
Okay. Do you have any experience on Acosta queries,
uh,
workbooks?
yeah, I do have some knowledge, but I mean, I have worked on log analytic workspace, and I'm familiar with some Kusta queries. Most of the time, I use the default queries, which is already available in the log analytic workspace. But yeah.
Okay. I'm still not getting the confidence, Karthik, because you said 300 servers and two members managing it. Who are the stakeholders? Is it like, do you have users who access the application from externally, or you have internal team who access the applications, and how it is?
We mostly have our internal people who access the application, but however, we do have applications facing external facing application, but all the servers are operated by only our internal team. So
Okay, so do you have experience on the Azure application gateway?
yes, so I worked on application gateway as well as Azure load balancer.
Okay, just let me know the difference between the application gateway and the load balancer and the traffic manager.
So the coming to the load balancer, so the load balancer will work on a network layer called layer 4, and it has like a basic load balancing. And coming to the application gateway has it work in application layer. I think it's layer 7, and the difference between application gateway and load balancer. So we usually use the application gateway does support a lot of features, including the SSL offloading, and also application gateway support path-based routing. For example, if you have multiple I/8 sites running in one server, so where we need to have the load balancing based on the application path. So that's where we use the application gateway uh, for the load balancing, and also view the SSL certification. And
So
coming
how
to the
about the
traffic
traffic
management,
manager? What's the difference between the application gateway and traffic manager?
uh, traffic manager, to be honest, I haven't run traffic manager, but I do have some knowledge. Like so, it worked on traffic manager. It's worked like globally, um, and it has like its own priority rules. Like
Okay, okay, that's
yeah.
fine. That's fine. Okay, thank you, Karthik. Thanks for your time. So basically, I want to end the meeting for now, because there are many things that I want to cover. Okay, so by this time itself, I'm not confident, based on the explanation that you have given, right? It feels like, you are not the right resource for me. Okay, so that's what I am feeling based on the explanation what you have given. It looks like you have experience, you have experience on the application gateway. The way you answer the question, right? I'm able to sense it. Okay, you have experience on the application gateway. You have experience on application insights or application monitoring. Okay, you have some sort of experience on Office 365 or kind of a mailbox related stuff. But when it comes to the virtual machine, and other components, I feel like you have some knowledge. You have done some POCs or testing, right? I'm not confident that you have really worked on it, but I do believe that you can, given an opportunity, you can really quickly learn these things and start implementing it. But though you might have worked on other components, but the way you are explaining is not meeting the expectations, right? So you might have to work on the explanation, to put them in a right word and try to elaborate your experience in a better way, right? So it's like, you're assuming things and explaining, you're not giving the right, or not answering the questions directly. Okay, that's something that I noticed. All right, that's okay because it's been almost a couple of years you have not given the interview. That's the first time after like 5 to 6 years you're giving the interview. It happens, right? And even
Yeah.
I was just trying to understand, right, the way I interview the candidates. So I try to understand their experience, right? Whether it's they really have experience or they've learned it. If they have learned it, if they are like honest in saying that they have learned it, they are ready to implement, ready to work hard, or ready to learn things, then ready to collaborate, have some good mindset, then definitely there are thoughts to take them, right? So that's why I'll try to understand what kind of person he is it he's really having experience, he learned, or maybe he have some experience, he have learned some of them. So try to understand the experience. So that's why I just try to ask, just try to be very interact with the candidate, so that we can be very open in talking, right? So that's why I try to ask you a couple of questions to understand your environment, how big your environment is, what kind of resources you're deploying, how many tickets you're getting, how big your team is. When you say two people, then I'm surprised, like, you have 300 servers, only two people are managing it, the entire cloud team, right? And one more person is managing the Office 365 as well. It is quite common, some small and medium based companies, one person manages everything, right? But that's why I'm trying to understand, is it an application accessible by external users? What if the application is down? Are you going to wake up in the midnight and start working with them? So there are companies where very less number of people manage the large infrastructure as well. But that gives me, like, when you say two people and one guy for cloud, one guy for the Office 365, I was little like confused, right? So those things, though it's real, right? You're working and you just told me real experience, right? Though it's real, but it sounds like you're just trying to manage it, right, in the explanation. So we'll see in the next session, right? You might improve better in your explanation. I know you have been working on cloud. I've been assisting you for many things, but you know, you have to work on your explanation part, right? How you are going to project yourself as an experienced person, right? Because you're already experiencing it, you're already working on it. Okay, try to work on it, and we'll see. We'll try to have a deep dive sessions or deep dive questions asked in the next interview. All right. Thank you so much, Karthik. And do you have any feedback, or do you have anything that you want to discuss?
Sure, Kamal. I mean, thanks for your time, and I definitely come up with some good explanation on the next upcoming interviews. So,
Okay, that's great. Thank you, Karthik, for your time. And let's connect in the next session. All right. And for the people who are watching this, we have not prepared anything. We have not shared the interview questions or answers. We just thought, okay, let's get into the call and let's try to ask questions and try to answer, right? So it's not well prepared one. Probably there could be some, questions maybe wrongly asked, but it's all about trying to understand their experience. We'll try to add more and more scenarios, more and more use cases. We'll ensure that Karthik is going to give a interview without any problem. And not only Karthik, we have a few other folks who are going to join us, and they are going to share their experience, and I'm going to give the feedback, and I'm going to take the feedback from from them, and from you guys as well. Thank you everyone for watching this video, and thanks for your time. Bye for now.